This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We linked up yesterday. I said we're going to do a little bit, and then it was on me, to be honest, Johnny. I apologise. I had to wait for the interview with her, and obviously,
he's the big cheese, isn't he? Big Charles from Cirencester needs to see Big Bad Eddie Hearn, Edward John Hearn. So I know you've got a little duo going on, your little TikTok romance. So I can't get in the way of that, can I?
I feel like now it's just going to get brought up in every single interview I do, especially when I'm with you. The king of Boshes, the king of social media, really, is yourself.
Well, it's not me, it's the big man, Big Bad John. So hopefully you'll get him on in a bit, and he'll give you the real stuff, what you really want. So yeah, maybe that will supersede your relationship with Eddie. You'll start building one with Big John now. That's the one you really want, isn't it?
I'm going to have to be doing regular trips to Romford, aren't I, just to get serious. Right, just before we get into it, obviously, you know, on this big bill, you've been getting out, natural progression. I think you were out in Sheffield, now on this card, Katie Taylor headline. Really good little card. You must be really happy with how things are going.
I am very happy, but I just know the way I've gone through my whole career, the next fight, win that one. Don't look too far ahead. Next fight. And this is the next fight I've got to win. Nothing else matters. What's come before, what's come after. I've just got to execute on the night and win. And then you get to 9-0, 10-0, 11-0, 12-0. So you just keep building and you just assess as you go.
I have to say, Johnny, I feel like I'm like your number one defender because on social media we always get sort of people giving it the big one, as they always do. I mean, I get it myself now, as to why you won't fight certain opponents or whatever. But I think what people have to realise is with yourself there is absolutely no rush. Like, there is no rush at all. You don't have the amateur pedigree. Why not have 15 fights doing what the hell you want? You're still young. You've got all the time in the world.
It's still hard for me fighting these people. The fifth fight when I fought in Guema, he was hard enough. The last guy, Michael Reisinger, he came and gave it a go. I got him out of there. But this guy, Dominic Musil, was going to be tough as well. People seem to think, I'm ready for these bigger names or stepping it up. I'm not ready yet. I've got to keep progressing, and I'm not one of these fighters who comes out and says, I'm ready for this one, I'm ready for that one. I've just got to keep learning and progressing, and then when the time is right, we'll step it up. But these little tests now, these are enough for me at the minute, and that's enough for me to deal with on its own.
Quite refreshing that you yourself will admit that as well, and sort of, you know, you don't need to sugarcoat it, you know, sort of. I mean, we just know how good you're going to be and how good you can be, and you already do incredible ticket sales, so why rush it and why push it?
Exactly. I've got potential there. I know that. I've got power, and I do want to get to the top of the sport. But when you rush through things and you think that you're better than what you are, or you let the hype get to you, that's one thing I've got to be careful of. I've got a lot of tickets and a lot of ticket sales. I can't let that get me ahead of myself. Do you know what I mean? I've just got to win these fights and know what my level is at boxing wise, and forget the crowd. I've got to do what I've got to do.
How much does sort of the crowd pay into that? Obviously, I know now you had your first couple of outings behind closed doors, and now you're used to having the crowd with you. Are you used to it now? I know people talk about the nerves going into a fight week, etc. But I suppose on your own hand, you know, you're sort of used to it. You've got the sort of big presence on social media, like I say, fans that follow you all over the country, and I imagine soon all over the world.
Yeah, you've got to sort of detach yourself from that. It's great to have that following. Every boxer would sort of, I'm not saying it to be arrogant, but it's great, and people dream of having the following I've got at this early stage, and I've got to be so grateful for all the people that turn out. They buy the tickets, especially in these hard times, people coming out to support me. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, I've got to detach my brain from all of that stuff. I've got to win my fights, regardless if there's a crowd there or not. And if I keep winning, I keep building that following. I keep building that hype around me, and I've just got to control myself about where I am and just win. That's the most important thing.
What can you tell us, for us that don't know much about your opponent on Saturday night? What do we expect to see from him?
He's a big old unit. I think he's as tall as me, heavier than me. Fought David Adelaide a couple of fights ago, so I've got a little bit to go by. See how he was dealt with. He'll be big and strong, but I think I'll be too fast and too powerful. And I don't think I'm going to be able to walk through him straight away. He might take me to 6 rounds, who knows? I'm going to look for that knockout when it's there. But all I've got to do is make sure I implement my boxing skills and try and develop on what I've been doing in the past, and hopefully the victory will come.
Obviously, you're with Mark Tibbs. You've got the great mentoring team around you. That is S-Jam and the management. Obviously, you went out to Vegas to spar with Joyce, with obviously under the guidance of Ismail Salas as well. Just talk about how special that experience was for yourself. I know Big John, I saw on his social media, he was buzzing. He took you lot to the airport, had it right off. I think he come down in the end, didn't he?
He surprised me. Well, I was meant to go and have a bit of food. They told me we're going to go and meet down here for a bit of food. Maybe a couple of ladies come along as well. I was buzzing. And then
Bash.
bash, and then I looked up and there's Big John and my mum's standing there. I was shocked, so you can see the shock on my face. But yeah, it was great that he was there. My mum was there, so there's your best friend just walked past there, Eddie.
Fuck off, mate.
He's your best mate. But yeah, it was a brilliant experience out there and just an unreal opportunity. I'll look back on these things in 10, 15 years' time and think, what a great experience.
Finally, what will be your go-to cheat meal come Saturday night when you bring that victory back to Romford?
Whatever's on room service in the hotel. Sunday night is the Chinese night. When we get back, relax, have it at home. But last time I think I had a syrup sponge or a sticky toffee pudding. But for that week, I'll just eat whatever I want. It'll be sticky toffee puddings. They've got pizzas and stuff. Loads of sweets, loads of like chewy sweets as well. Bit of chow mein maybe if that's going on the menu. I hope there's some sort of Chinese influence on the room service, but if not, I'll have to wait for the sweet and sour chicken Hong Kong style, the kung pao prawns, the salt and chili king prawns, the special fried rice, the chicken chow mein, special fried rice again, and just get it all in there. The spring rolls and the crispy aromatic duck. Bash.
Bash. Johnny Fisher, thank you for speaking to me at Boxing Social.